So a commercial community or commercial neighborhood is a place where people buy and sell goods and services. Goods, remember, are just things that you can buy or sell, and services are things that people can do for you if you pay them some money. So some examples of goods would be gasoline. So here's a gas station, a tanning salon. We did just pass Hungry Howie's. Over here, you can buy some tires and have them put them on your car for you at Discount Tire. And then we also have an insurance place, Subway, Papa John's. Across the street, there's Art Van Furniture, ABC Warehouse, Blockbuster Video, Arby's. Back over here, there's Burger King. Down the street, there's McDonald's, a mattress store. Eventually, there's a KFC and a Fazoli's and all kinds of other fun stuff. So this is a commercial neighborhood, which is its own little kind of community within Jackson. All right, so as we continue down our commercial community here, I want you to look for 5 different things, 5 different places where people can purchase goods or services. Talk around your table group and name the 5 that you came up with looking at what is available on the street here. All right, and here's our last stretch of commercial neighborhood stuff. We've got a Target right over there, another gas station, and we're about to enter this one place that's got all kinds of different places to buy and sell goods all in one spot. The Jackson Crossings. So if you haven't come up with 5 yet, here's an opportunity to come up with the rest of your 5. If you have come up with 5, then let's see how many you can come up with. And let's see, the group with the most places to buy or sell goods or receive services will get a tally point for the table challenge. All you have to write down is the name of the store. All right, and that about does it. So we're going to leave this part of the commercial neighborhood and head ourselves on over to a residential neighborhood. So one of the things that's really interesting about a community is that you can go from one type of neighborhood to a completely different kind of neighborhood just by crossing one single street. So I'm heading back away from that commercial neighborhood that we were just at a second ago, and here right now we're crossing Michigan Avenue and coming from a commercial neighborhood into a residential neighborhood, like I said we were going to. Now, a residential neighborhood is a place where people reside and residential, they have the same root, right? Which means this is a place where people live. So what you'll notice as we're driving forward here is that there are going to be these little side streets where there are just houses lined on both sides of the street. Like right here, we have houses right here, and they're real close to each other. Each of these houses is the home to one family. So there's a house, and there's a yard, and there's like a garage, and that's all just, these are places where families can live, and it's just really meant for families. It's a place set aside where moms and dads and kids and grandparents can all live in one space and have this space that is their own. And that's what a residential neighborhood is all about. Alright, so just coming out of this residential neighborhood we were just in, there are a couple of elementary schools. Here's one, Cascades Elementary, and we're about to pull up on Frost. Both of these are part of Jackson Public Schools, and so they're situated right here in the middle of these neighborhoods because parents want to be able to send their kids to a school that's right close by. Now, since we all go to a charter school, your parents all choose to bring you to the school, whether it's close to our neighborhood or not. But a lot of kids, parents want them to go to a school that's real close to their house. And so they'll go to a place like Frost or like Cascades that's right there by where they live. Well, when I was a kid, my brothers and I had to walk to Frost from where we lived, which was right down the road here quite a ways. We walked a mile to school every day and a mile home from school every day. And because Frost was one of the closest schools to our house, and our parents wanted us to go to a school that was close to our house. Alright, so here's another kind of neighborhood. It's more like a suburban neighborhood where the houses all look very similar, but here in the middle of this neighborhood there's a little park where you can see it's all decorated. There's a play structure, a swing set, there's even a little pond over there for kids to play in. So in this neighborhood, this is a place where families, they want to still be close to the city. They want to have a place where their kids can go and have a place to play, and they can be close to each other. But they want it to be a little bit quieter, a little off of the beaten path, away from that main busy road. Like, see, you look down the street here and you see all these houses nice and close together. And actually, we're going to go ahead and just drive right down the street because I want you to see the difference between this kind of a neighborhood and the different kind of residential living that we're going to check out in just a second. So in this particular neighborhood, you can see the houses are nice and small, and they're right next to each other. Again, like we saw before, just a driveway separating them. They have some decent backyards. Communities have lots of different parts, and each part is there to serve a certain purpose. Some people, like we saw in the neighborhoods we just drove through, some people like to live close to people, but like to have their own space, their own home, their own yard. Just, this is for my family, and this is where we have to call all our own, and we don't have to share anything kind of vibe. We are right now driving through an apartment complex where people don't need quite as much space to live. Maybe they don't want a yard to have to take care of. Maybe they don't mind sharing space, like having a home that shares a wall with somebody else's home. So like each of these buildings that you see on the sides here, each of these buildings has like 4 different homes on each floor, and there's like 3 or 4 floors. And so there are, 12 or 16 different homes in each one of these buildings, instead of each building being somebody else's separate house. Some people like to live in apartments, and some people would rather live in houses, and that's why communities have both apartments and houses. Now it is starting to get pretty dark, but we're going to head downtown and we're going to check out everything that there is to offer in downtown. It's called an urban community. And an urban community is a place where like these residential communities and commercial communities and parks, they all kind of come together, and you have everything that you can experience all over the town in one spot. The difference is it's a pretty busy place. So you can't get the relaxed, laid-back feel from a big park like Ellis Sharp in a little park that you would find downtown. But you can still have a place to go relax a little bit. You can have an apartment. You can find an apartment to live in down there. There aren't really like individual houses to live in downtown, but there's still places that you can live. There are different stores to shop at, different services that you can go pay for, and everything's nice and close together. There's also some different types of things like tall buildings. Buildings that are 4 stories tall, buildings that are 5 stories tall, buildings that are 2 stories tall, like a house is 2 stories tall, or also buildings that are like 15 stories tall. And in big cities, the urban areas have buildings that are like 20 and 30 and 40 and 100 stories tall. But in Jackson, not so much. In Jackson, it's only like 15 stories tall. So one thing that's worth mentioning about bigger communities, we don't have this as much in Jackson, but it's worth noting from bigger communities, is that there are neighborhoods that are very specific to a certain culture or a certain people from a certain part of the world. Like there are places called Little Italy and Little China and places like that where people from China and people from Italy or whatever the community is based on, who have moved to the country, may move to these big cities and then all live kind of in one, not all, but a lot of them live in one general area where they get to still participate in and celebrate traditions from the country that they came here from, or that maybe their ancestors or grandparents or great-grandparents came here from. So there might be like, in Little China, they would have a lot of places to get Chinese food, like real authentic Chinese food, and to buy goods from China and to participate in or pay for services that you could get in China. And so people can be in the United States and experience the freedoms and the extra things that make the United States special, but still be able to hold on to and participate in the things about the culture where they come from that are really special. So here we are downtown. You can tell by the lights that it's a little bit busier place. There's a lot more buildings closer together. Like here's some of our taller buildings out the front of the window now. This is the field building. We looked at what used to be the field building 100 years ago, and there it is now, a whole lot smaller. And we're turning down Michigan Avenue, where there are all kinds of things down here. So I'm going to run them down for you real quick. City Hall. This is where the people who run the city work. And let's see, we have some empty stores, which is sad. Daryl's, which is a restaurant full of fancy, delicious food. Over on this side of the street, we've got like jewelry stores and JTV. And over here we have Bellinote, which is another fancy pants restaurant. And a candle store. And over here, there's a Spring Arbor University campus, so people can come downtown and take classes through Spring Arbor. There's also the post office, where you can come and send stuff in the mail. A shoe store. A little knick-knacky good store, and health food. And in the basement, there's even a Catholic shop. Right down this street, there's the Michigan Theater. A comic book store down here. And then right up here, we're going to come around the corner, and you will see Consumers, and a little park here, Consumers, where people like to come and picnic and relax. This is the park I told you about, though it really kind of just looks like a big yard in front of Consumers. But it's what we call a park because it's a place that you're not allowed to build any buildings, and it's just going to stay this like nice open space. So there's Consumers. And we're going to head back down the back way for downtown right here. Drive up another street. Those towers over there in the background are part of a church. And then up in front of us, there's a steeple you can see up there that's part of another church. And there's some of those taller buildings of downtown again, right over there. Here's a place to get some really good coffee, but not for you because you're too young to drink coffee. And I know you're going to tell me that you drink coffee anyway, but I'm going to tell you that you shouldn't because you're too young and you're already full of too much energy to be drinking that much caffeine. Anyway, so we're going to come up this way and look at, one more intersection up here. At this intersection, where two roads cross. So at this intersection, there's a farmer's market where farmers can come and sell their vegetables or their fruit or whatever it is that they harvest. So people can come from all over town and check out right here in this parking lot where this long thing is set up. Farmers set up tables and booths, and people come and they're like, oh, hey, look, fresh vegetables. I want some. And so they pay the farmer some money and purchase their goods. So, we keep saying goods are things that you can buy and sell. This is a place that's really good for farmers to come and sell the things that they grow.